Hi class, good morning and welcome to Healthcare Information System subject. Today we will discuss on the chapter 9 regarding HIS implementation and support. Before we start, go inside the chapter, so I would like to read for you regarding on the learning objective. So the first objective is to enable you to discuss the process that a healthcare organization typically goes through in implementing a healthcare information system. So how you can discuss about how the healthcare information system can be implemented or can be executed for a certain healthcare organization. So secondly is to be able to appreciate the organizational and behavioral factor that can affect system acceptance and use and strategies for managing the change. So whenever you implement or you install a new application or system to the certain organization, of course the organizational factor including the people, processes and everything more or less will be changed to accommodate the new system. So thinking about the new system, of course the work processes will be changed and maybe some of the red tape will be take out or reduce it. Thirdly is to be able to develop a simple system implementation plan for a healthcare information system project, including the type of individual who should be involved. Okay, so this will be included in the organizational and behavioral factors section. So you will be explore. You will be explain to you who will involve in the project for healthcare information system. Fourthly is to gain insight into many of the things that can go wrong during system implementation and strategies healthcare managers that can employ to alleviate potential problem. Okay? So any software project will or cannot run from the problem, issues, errors, oversees certain things. So there are strategies, and I think this is this part of strategies we already discussed in the software project management given to you for the previous semester. So more or less how to strategize, how to manage the risk and so on is actually covered in the software project management. So maybe the software project management that we learned before can be modified or can be customized for specific healthcare information system and for healthcare organization. Certain field, certain subject matter will require a certain skill to manage it. Okay, so lastly is to be able to discuss the importance of training, technical support, infrastructure and ongoing maintenance and evaluation of any healthcare information system project. So the topic is implementation and support. So of course when you install the application, so you need to conduct the training in order to make sure that the technical support, maybe the technical support team consists of a new or senior person. So the new team need to do a transfer of technology, yeah, and also the technical support skill to need to be trained, need to be guide for them to manage the system when any error or issue that would be occurred. Okay, as I mentioned that implementation and support of the system is very essential. Is essential for any software projects. So these topics we talk about HRIS implementation and support. What I mean implementation here is not the programming, yeah. It's not means about the we install the system. So this process is not yet done, yeah, not yet done. What I mean is HRIS implementation and support is right after the project is kick off, yeah, and you already come up with the project plans. So that's what I mean here, or we mean here, the implementation. So the implementation of the HRIS projects may consist a lot of method, yeah. Some of the company, they prefer to buy the software on the shelf. So the vendor in charge on the project, yeah, will directly acquire the software, and they will do the what they call it, package integration, yeah. So they buy the A software, for example, then they do the gap analysis, and then the A software will be customized, according to the gap which exists in software A, and a new requirement of the organization, healthcare organization. So this is one way how the vendor normally fulfill the healthcare organization to implement the application, yeah, HRIS application. So once a healthcare organization has finalized its contract with the vendor to acquire the system, the implementation process is begin. Implementation here means the project is started, yeah. The project is resumed to implement the software I told you just now, yeah. Another way how to implement the HRIS is developed from the scratch. So this is called custom development, yeah. The first one that I explained you is you buy the software and then you customize. And custom is different. Customize means you modify the complete system, yeah, the complete system. Modify a certain function, certain module that effect with the new requirement of the healthcare organization. Let's say in the registration department, or in the registration module, so the healthcare organization require a QR code device, but the software A doesn't have that features. So the vendor need to customize and need to add for the function or the features of QR code in the software. So selecting the right system does not ensure user acceptance and success. So the system must also be incorporated effectively into the day-to-day operation of the healthcare organization and adequately supported or maintained. Whether the system is built in-house, like I said, designed by an outside consultant, leased from an application service provider, or purchased from a vendor, it will take a substantial amount of planning and work to get the system up and running smoothly and integrated into the operation. Yeah, nowadays you always look at the ADS, yeah, in the marketing, digital marketing, or you go anywhere, the software is become services. Yeah. Okay. So this is a way how the new application right now. The new application nowadays. Uh, how the software will be implemented in the organization. There are many ways. So implementing a new system can be a massive undertaking for a healthcare organization. Not only are there workstation to install, database to build, and network to test, but there are also processes to be need to re-engineer, user to train, data to convert, and procedure to run. This is a normal process. Yeah, normal process when you develop a software or when you develop new applications. This is the task or process that you need to cater in the software projects. Yeah. So along with attending to these activities or tasks, it is equally important to address the organization and behavioral issues. Yeah. So anything that new in the organization, so of course it will affect the behavioral of the organization. Behavioral means how the user inside the organization react to the change. Yeah. So how they their acceptance regarding on the new system, a new process, a new policy, a new procedure. So this is things that is very important. Not only you make sure that the software is can be run or can be managed accordingly. You can install the software, you can install the web server, you can install the database. That is not enough. Yeah. The organizational and behavioral of the company is a big issue if you don't manage it properly. Okay, it is more or less the same with the software project management that I told you in the last semester. Yeah. So there are a lot of skill how to manage the software needed, especially when you involve in the healthcare information system, because the healthcare information system is very complex and it involves a lot of discipline or department within the hospital. Yeah. And you deal with the clever people, which is doctor, nurses, specialists, consultants. They are clever people, but you have to manage them, and of course you have to learn a lot about the healthcare services processes. Then if you know, you have a knowledge about the healthcare processes, so you can talk with them with the same level. Okay. So we don't want system analyst or software system engineer or software engineer when they involve in the healthcare information system and they deal with the healthcare workers. So they talk like chicken and duck. So we cannot meet, we cannot find a single solution, because maybe the IT people understanding is different, and the healthcare worker thinking is different. Okay, that's why we need the implementation strategies and support, especially right from the beginning until the end of the project. So we discuss now about the system implementation process. What are the element strategy that you need to take under consideration, during the system implementation process. So the system implementation process or system development process, this is health informatics, so we have to use a different term, but more or less is the system development life cycle process. So implementation means, like I said, that when we agree with the healthcare organization and we finalize the contract and the project is kick off. So for healthcare organization, their understanding is the implementation of the project is started. So the first thing that you need to establish, when the system is resumed, so you need to organize the team and identify a champion. See, we start with organization team. Organization, you need to design the organizational structure. So remember that when any project that you learn with me, the first thing that I ask you to do is to do the project setup, project setup or project commissioning. So means that you have to create the organization structure for your projects, and then you identify the role, you define the role, and also the job spec for the team. So the primary role and function of the team is to plan, coordinate, budget, and manage all aspects of the new system implementation. So by define the organizational structure, so you create the system, how you manage the people in your project. Without the organizational structure, proper organizational structure, so you cannot manage your team systematically. You don't know the A person, B person, C person, D person responsibility, so it's difficult for you to manage the project members. And you need to identify the champion. Champion means the person that you trust, you can consider that the person is a mirror of you. So without you, that person can take over your role. So this is important when you manage the project. So you need to create a mirror of you. So otherwise you cannot go to the toilet, even go to the toilet or even to take a lunch or breakfast. Okay. So although the exact team composition will depend on the scope and nature of the new system, a team might include the project leader, system champion, key individual from the clinical and administrative areas that are focused on the system being acquired. So when you look at the composition of implementation team, so in healthcare information system, there are many team members from the various different department, pharmacy, nurse, laboratory, radiology, IT, or business manager. Okay, second thing that you need to prepare, you need to consider is determine project scope and expectation. So this is a normal, this is normal process when you start or you want to develop a project, software project. So you need to finalize the project scope in your SRA. That is the importance of SRA, software requirement analysis document. You list all the requirement, and then you prioritize, and then you put the priority, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, right? So set the tone of the project. A senior healthcare executive should meet with the implementation team to communicate how the project relates to the organization overall strategies, goal, and to assure the team of administration commitment to the project. So more or less this is a requirement analysis stage. So you define the scope, you must clarify the scope, meet the user, and then get the sign off of the requirement. Otherwise the requirement will be keep change, and you cannot proceed to the another stage of the software development life cycle. Example, before you go to design, which is design is a very important phase in the software development life cycle. So when you go to the design and then your requirement is not firm, still uncertain, so your design will be in unstable. So make sure that the scope is clear, scope is final, or at least you have a certain base that you can use as a reference for you to proceed with the SRS and also the SDT, the design, the analysis, system analysis, and also to the design. Okay, so the third process that you need to prepare is establish and institute the project plan. Okay, this is about of the more or less we always said that, or I always ask you to prepare the Gantt chart. So you need to prepare your project plan using a Gantt chart or milestone, a project milestone, or project plan and project milestone. So you need to develop and execute project plan which include major activities, milestone, the durations, the dependencies between one task to another task, assign the resources, of course when you assign the resources, so you already identify the individual who we taken care about SRS, for example, SRA for design, and then you set the target date, start and end, and also the duration of the task. So this is very important. So this project plan need to present to end user, so that they know that when you will deliver the prototype of the system, for example. So normally the user they are keen to see the prototype, so they until we not present to them the prototype system, so they will not happy with you. Yeah, that's why nowadays the process of developing the software, we cut the step from the requirement analysis and design, or requirement analysis and design is one phase, and then we go to prototype, and then it will cycle it, and then the development is iterative and incremental. Okay, now that's why nowadays you listen about you heard about the DevOps methodology, yeah, agile methodology, yeah, rapid RAD, yeah, rapid application development. So because we want to produce the prototype system fast, and then we can show to the user, and we can get the response from the user, so that we can accommodate all the requirement, which is maybe we misunderstood also at early stage, not at the end of the software development process. Okay, this is number 3. So fourthly, so you need to conduct workflow and process analysis. One of the first activities necessary in implementing a new system is to review and evaluate the existing workflow or business process. Okay, so you can find this explanation or this process in our software project management, or in our another subject, analysis and design. So I always told you that you need to do the system analysis thoroughly. So you need to study the existing system, although they don't have a computer system. So you need to review, understand, and evaluate the manual system, so that you clear the business process and workflow involved in the current business process. Okay. Too often organizations never critically evaluate current business processes, but long forward with implementing the new system while still using old procedures. Okay, this is very good point. Yeah. Okay, so I always evaluate the student project. So this is always happen. So the student jump to the implementation. What I mean implementation is jump to the programming directly. Or maybe they do analysis, but the analysis is not thorough, so they don't understand. Even 70% of the process they don't understand, but they jump to the programming, the development of the software. So when they start to focus on the programming, of course, when they show their application, there are a lot of questions, a lot of mismatch of the requirements. So what they ask to do is to redesign the software. Okay, so and sometimes the student or the company, they just computerize the manual process to the digital process. So this is the wrong way. So you need to look at the total solution. Total solution means not only computerize, use the computer from the manual to computer. Even some of the process that you think that cannot be computerized, so you maintain or you retain with the manual process. maybe you cut the process. For example, in order to process the payroll, so the finance executive should process A to G, for example. So with the new system, we should cut the process A until C only. So this is a call it computerization, total solution. Okay, and then maybe in processing the payroll involve four staff. So with the new system, we can mobilize the staff from four, or we can distribute two of them to another department or another section. Why we need more people when we introduce or we develop a new system, new computer system, right? So this is a things that you need to conduct. That's why I told you the conduct workflow and process analysis. So this is critical process. So you need to do a critical analysis. Okay. Once you once you firm certain on the business workflow and you study the business process of the healthcare organization processes, and then you continue with the install system component. So the next step which may be done concurrently. So maybe this step can be done concurrently when you study the new methodology that they call that nowadays is DevOps. The DevOps is a lot of things that we can do concurrently. So while you conduct the system analysis or system design, so the infrastructure requirement can be started, can be installed. So same like this. So install the system component. So you can install the software component or hardware component, the internet. So this is very important. So after you understand after you collect the information regarding the users, numbers of departments, so you can estimate the processing power. You can buy whether the server, the high-end server or medium-end server or low-end server. And then system implementation process that you require to prepare is you plan, you conduct and evaluate staff training, or training plan. So you need to evaluate the training need analysis, what they call it, training need analysis. So training is the essential component of any system implementation. So the team should consider a few of questions to answer as the training program is developed and implemented. So you as a project manager, you need to know, you need to ask yourself or your team, so how much training is needed. Do different user group have different training need? Who should conduct the training? Is it you, or you can hire outside trainer? Maybe you can hire another vendor to to conduct a special skill. For example, React tools or Java language, yeah, and then conduct a training for your staff. So when should the training occur? What interval of training are ideal? What training format is best? So during the COVID-19, of course, the best format is online, yeah, through Zoom or Google Meet. And what is the role of the vendor in training? Who in the organization will manage or oversee the training? How will training be documented? What criteria and method will be used to monitor training and ensure the staff are adequately trained, and will staff be tested for proficiency? So this is a training design, yeah. Not only you you talk in front of the user and then 9 to 5 and finish. No, so you need to make sure that your training material is enough. Your training material is easy to understand. Some of your user is aging staff, yeah, a young staff, so they cannot cope you. Or maybe you talk in the format of technical perspective, so they don't understand, because you need to understand that this is a healthcare worker, so they are not good in IT, yeah. So you need to bear in mind that your user is healthcare workers, yeah. So some of them never touch the mouse, some of them never know about the internet, yeah, wireless, bandwidth. So this is a term that always thrown by the trainer, yeah? But the user just quiet and saying that they understand, but actually they don't understand. Okay, another step in the implementation process that you need to consider is data conversion, and of course the system test. I think in your software engineering program, none of the subject cover on the data conversion and data migration, right? So I think I slot some of the chapter in my previous subject is a data conversion. So the data conversion is very important, because when you want to implement the system, so of course the organization have data before, yeah. So maybe they use Excel system, or they use the Microsoft Word or Microsoft Access, or even they use a manual system. So that data, they want that data is available in the new system. So this is called data conversion. So you need to cater this process or this requirement. So some of the organizations said that when we want to use the new system, we want existing data exists in the system. So you need to design the data conversion process and also the data conversion application, yeah. But bear in mind that the data conversion is a one-time process. So a lot of program that you develop is to cater for one shot process. So after the data conversion is completed, so that data may be that program may be useless, yeah. But this is process that you need to include in the system implementation process, yeah. And then after you convert the data, you need to test the system, or you need to test the system first, then you do the data conversion. So vice versa, yeah. So sometimes you can do a concurrent process, yeah. You can do a data conversion and at the same time you conduct the system test. So the system test is the testing is a lengthy process, and I think I want to write a book that telling about testing only. There are many type of testing, and there are a lot of issue before conduct the testing, during the testing, and after this testing. So testing is very crucial work while developing the software, and testing is one of the system development life cycle. So it is particularly important that data be complete, accurate, current before the converted to the new system. Before you start the new system, the data must be correct. Data should be clean before being converted. Once converted, the data should run through a series of validation, checkpoint, or procedures to ensure the accuracy of the data conversion. Okay, especially on the healthcare information system, the data is related to the patient medical record. So if you convert the wrong medical record of the patient, so it affect the medical error. Maybe the conversion, the data conversion process wrongly conducted. Maybe A data go to B data, so it will be haywire, and then maybe the patient got wrong medication, wrong medical history, diagnosis, and so on, and everything is wrong. Yeah, it become haywire. So this is very important things, and this is from my experience in healthcare development or in system implementation process of healthcare system. So this part is very crucial and very tough process. Yeah. It take a lot of time. Not even the software developer, and also the health worker. So they have to put effort to check the data one by one, and so on. So this is normally resistant from the health worker to get a new system or to computerize their business process. So this is one of the challenges in implementing the healthcare information system in healthcare industry. Okay, another step in the system implementation process of HRS is communicate progress or status. So I think this is a same process when we talk about the software development process. So you need to communicate, and update the status. So you as a project manager of the HRS system or HRS project, so you need to communicate not only within your project team, but you need to communicate with the user, especially. Communicate with the pharmacist representative, communicate to the laboratory representative, communicate to specialists, consultants, MA, doctors, GP, physicians, nurse, matron. So this is the people that you need to ensure the relationship with them, so that the system can easily to be signed off by them. Okay, lastly is prepare for go live date. A great deal of work goes into preparing for the go live date, the day the organization transition from the old system to the new. Okay, assuming the implementation team has done all it can to ensure that the system is ready, the staff are well trained, appropriate procedure in place, the transition should be in a smooth one. Okay, you need to add additional staff to be on hand and equipped to assist users as needed. It is best to plan for the system to go live on the day when the patient census is typically low, and fewer patients than usual are scheduled to be seen. Okay, so this is one question: is it nowadays? Is it a good time to implement the HIS or computerize the hospital in Malaysia? I don't think, yeah, because all hospital or health facility in Malaysia, even in the world, are busy with the COVID-19, so they don't have time to do the system analysis. Yeah, they don't have a time to. The doctor doesn't have a time to involve in the software development process of the new project or new HIS. So this is not a best time to implement the HRS in the hospital. You can see in the television, in the newspaper or e-news, the hospital workload, yeah, is already 130%. So that means no bed for the patient. So they have to create another temporary hospital, like in Malacca. Yeah, the MITC is converted to become a quarantine center of Malacca. Yeah, there are a lot of hall or school or center which is not utilized. The government converted the center, the hall, into a quarantine center. Yeah. So disaster recovery plan should also be in place, and staff should be well trained on what to do should the system go down or fail. Yeah. So this is designated. So this should be dedicated IT staff should monitor and assess system problem and errors. Okay, this is similar to the implementation plan. You prepare go live date before you want to implement the system. So you need to prepare the implementation plan. So this is under implementation plan. So you need to conduct the training first. You need to ensure that the data center is ready, the database is created, the software is latest, the network is ready. Yeah, the the line estimated for the system is tested. Yeah. Sometimes you require from the TM or the telecommunication provider 10 meg. So in actual, they only give you 2 meg, for example. So you need to test, yeah, the capacity of the bandwidth or network telecommunication that you order from the telecommunication provider. Okay, I think finish for the system implementation process that you need to at least you know what to prepare while managing the system implementation of the HIS. Yeah, so this is more or less same like you manage the software project. Okay, another things like you need to prepare during the HRS implementation and support. You need to strategize how to manage the organization aspect. Yeah. So this is what I told you in the learning objective. Yeah, the organizational issue or problem you need to manage it. Yeah. So first thing that you need to do is to create an appropriate environment. So appropriate environment is a platform where expectations are defined, met, and managed need to be established. So maybe you create a committee. They call it task force committee to define, man, and manage issue regarding the project or healthcare information system project. So if you ask the room full of healthcare executive, they say in the committee, task force committee, you ask the healthcare executive or physician or nurse, pharmacist or laboratory managers if they have ever experienced in IT system failure, chance over half of the hand in the room would go up. Okay, so if you don't create the environment and the platform, you difficult to get the feedback from them. So if you create a proper platform, so like I said, now they will raise up the issue, and then this is a good, but sometimes it's bad for you because you will get headaches, a lot of complaint, and so on. So this require a skill of listening, the skill of listening to your direct customer, direct user. If you probe a little further and ask why the system was a failure, you might hear a comment like this: the system was slow, it was down all the time, training was inadequate, and nothing like the real thing. There was no one to go to if you had question or concern. This is related to the support. So we don't want when we put personal support personnel and then they are not focused on their job. So maybe 9 o'clock they go for breakfast. 12:30 go for lunch. 4:45 is already make up and prepare for go home. So this type of staff should be replaced. So we want support staff like a prompt person. So when anything happens, so they reply promptly. They reply accordingly, and they have a knowledge how to manage the problem. So maybe it added to my stress and workload. This is what that always I heard when I managed the project in Ministry of Health, when we developed the telemedicine project in area of Hospital Kajang, Hospital Kuala Lumpur, Hospital Seremban. So they are very you know that the health worker workload is very high actually. Every day patient come and go to the hospital more than 1,000, more than 1,000. So they don't have time to busy with the IT project actually. So normally they accept the system is because of top down instruction. Okay, so we need to find a solution, and we need to create the environment which is we appreciate them, and then we need the cooperation from them. Without the cooperation from the health worker, so we are very difficult to implement the HRS, especially when we want to get the sign off from them. Sometimes when you ask the sign off from them, so then they will study the system. Even 6 months is already gone, so they don't bother about the process that gone through in the past 6 months. Yeah, so this is normal. Not to say that normal is good, but this is a bad attitude. Yeah? So the fact is the system did not meet their expectation, so you might not know whether those expectations were reasonable or not. Okay, so without creating the appropriate environment, so the IT people also feel that they are good, they are always true, but actually not. Yeah, so because you don't listen to them, so you assume that everything is good, everything is well done, and so on. So when you create this type of environment, then you know that there are many issues, there are many problems, whether right or wrong, so you need to evaluate their complaint. But first thing that you create the environment so that you can collect the information, and then you evaluate, analyze the complaint. Then this is a way how you encounter them, whether the complaint is true or not. Yeah. So this is a professional way how to manage the issue and complaint by the user. Okay, strategy for managing the organizational aspect. Secondly is don't underestimate user resistance. So what I mean is don't underestimate user resistance. So you don't take the reluctance of certain process or certain changes of the process to the certain department in the healthcare organization is simple. Let's say we take one example, CPOE. What do you call it? CPOE is computerized provider order entry. Yeah? So this is a computerized process we given to the doctor for the doctor to make any order. For example, order to prescribe the drugs, yeah, order for lab tests, order for image examination, and so on. So before EMR or SRS is implemented or introduced, they use a handwriting. Yeah? They take a form and fill in the form and pass to the nurse, and nurse pass to the respective department. So very easy, right? So with the new CPOE, by implementing the CPOE, computerized provider order entry, so they have to use a computer. So they have to log in into the system. They have to choose the procedure to be ordered, and they have to write down the comment or remarks, and they submit. So for them, this is a for the new user. When we newly implement the system, of course they feel reluctant. They feel, oh my god, I have to use a mouse, I have to keyboard the data, I have to submit, I have to make sure the message come out with a successful message, and so on. So this is a message. This is normally come out with the user, a new user. But you have to understand, and you have to listen to them. Why they highlight this thing. Maybe this is because of our UI, user interface, or user experience of the front end design is not good, very difficult to use. Yeah, there are many steps, there are many pop-up message. Yeah, pop up. So this is also disturbing their process. Even actually they need to spend time to the patient. So by computerize the HRS or implement the HRS, they have to focus on the screen. So this is a resistance that you need to listen to the doctor or the health worker in implementing the HRS to the healthcare facility. So unintended consequences due to the implementation of new HRS can be positive or negative or both, depending on one perspective. Maybe you implement the e-appointment, for example, so the patient can make the appointment by themselves, and then maybe one doctor is very famous, then all the appointments go to him or her. So this is another issue. So the workload of certain doctor is different with other doctors because of preference. So this perspective you need to look by using the computer intelligence to balance the workload of the doctor when we implement the e-appointment, for example. We don't want to burden one doctor with the high workload compared to the other health worker or other doctors, which is very less patient they attain. Okay, another strategy is allocate sufficient resources to the healthcare organization. Sufficient resources are needed both during and after the new system has been implemented. User acceptance comes from confidence in the new system. So when you look at the compositional of the team in the HRS project, we involve pharmacists, we involve laboratories, doctors, specialists, nurses, matron, registration clerk, finance, HR, etc. So we increase their workload, we increase their responsibility. So we need to allocate more staff to replace their or help their workload for said person that I told you just now. Okay, so that they don't have a chance to what we call it, we can avoid the backlog of their works. Maybe they involved in pharmacy, for example. So their main task is to verify the drugs, for example. Although some of the pharmacy system is already computerized, but in order to dispense the drug, so the pharmacist need to approve the drug to be dispensed to the patient. So it become a bottleneck of the dispense process, because the pharmacist is busy with the computerization of HRS. So we don't have a pharmacist to approve the drug to be dispensed. So we need to allocate a certain or another pharmacist to take over the task of the first pharmacist. Okay, another strategy is provide adequate training. So I don't want to discuss this process because we already discussed on the training in the processes in the process of the system implementation. So We go to number 4 of the strategy: manage unintended consequences. So especially those known to affect implementation, such as computerized provider or the entry. This is I told you just now. Yeah. Sometimes the doctor dislike the CPOE. So how we want to manage this kind of resistance. So we can give some examples. Unintended consequences include more work or new work, change or re-engineering workflow, system demand to maintenance and support, communication, emotion. Yeah. So emotion involve this normally affect the non clinical staff. Maybe they assume, they afraid that their position will be removed by implementing the SRS. Maybe when we introduce the self-registration of the patient to the health facility, so we don't need the registration clerk. So we need to mobilize the registration clerk to do another job, another work. So this is emotion. Maybe new errors, power shift, and dependence on the system. So when we implement the HRS, of course, everything is all the process is computerized. It's a workflow process. So sometimes without the computer, we cannot proceed with the business process. So as a software designer or architect, so you need to look at this angle. When the system is down, so what is the plan B? Okay, we need to do offline system, for example, or we fall back to manual system, for example, to ensure that the business process can be proceeded. Okay, number 5. Okay, finish. I think on the strategy how to manage the organizational effect. I repeat again. So first, you need to create a platform, create an appropriate environment. So you need to manage the user resistance. So you need to allocate sufficient resources to certain department in healthcare facility to make sure that the workload is not become a backlog for the business process. So you need to provide adequate training, and then you need to manage unintended consequences. Yeah. So this is a ideal situation. Ideal situation where especially on the during the system analysis, before you design the software, so you need to understand 150% of the business process, so that you can manage the exceptional problem or errors or consequences when you develop a software. So another step that you need to prepare during the system implementation and support is the evaluation and system support. So why the new system needs support and evaluations? Because information system is evolved as an organization continue to grow and change. So no matter how well the system was designed or tested, errors or problem will be detected and changes will need to be made through system support. So once you deploy the system, so not to say that once you deploy the system, then the system support is begin. So the system support is actually started when you when you start to implement the system right after you kick off the project. So system support means when you do the requirement analysis, requirement elicitation, so you need to support the user in terms of understanding the SRS, for example, SRA, for example. So for them, this document is very burden to them, so they don't understand what is the SRS sometimes, what is the SRA. So you just tell them, okay, refer to SRA, refer to SRS. What about of SRA, all about of SRA or SRS, even they don't understand. But this is require support, so you need to do some awareness program or training to them. So what type of document that involved during the development process of the system, so that when you communicate to them, they understand, okay, refer to SRA. Okay, now they understand the SRA is content of the requirement. So when errors or problem are detected, IT support team correct the problem or work with the vendor to see what the problem is fixed. The organization will want to ensure that the system is adequately maintained, supported, and further developed over time. So this is fair when your customer spend a lot of money, sometimes a million, 100 million, yeah. So what they want is the system is working well, and any problem is supported, any problem is fixed, and not affect their business process. Okay, so that's why the system support is very important. So that's why the documentation is very important. So that's why the knowledge management is very important. So you can see that a lot of software that you buy from the internet, what they call it, ASP. So all the support is through online, through what they call it, chat, through video call, email, and sometimes the error or problem is like a FAQ, frequently asked question. So why they ask you to log the problem online, and then they store the problem? So because almost the problem or complaint is similar with other complainer, so that they don't have a time, they don't need to put one person or a team of customer support to attain the user complaint physically or lively. So what they need to do, like Google do, is they call it online support. So they have a database of the problem or complaint, then they do some AI, and when you search some errors or you want to find the problem, so you just type the problem and then they will pop up to you, so what you need to do, what you need to a step, how to resolve the problem. Okay, the system support is very important, but when you support the system, of course you need to collect the proof. That's why we should develop a system support application to collect the reports, so that you can evaluate the weakness of your system. So that's why the evaluating or assessing the value of the system, especially the healthcare information system, is increasingly important. Increased importance because the acquiring and implementing system require large investment and stakeholder. including board of directors, are demanding to know both the actual and future value of this project. Evaluation must be viewed as an integral component of every major health information system project and not an afterthought. So evaluation of the system implementation is very important. So after you implement the system, after 1 year, after 2 years, so you need to evaluate the system. So if you don't have the database, so very difficult for you to produce the report, to produce the weaknesses, the strength of the system. Yeah. So this is one of the good trigger for the software developer. When you develop any software, so you need to develop one module that call it system support. Okay? So what we call it nowadays is response. Yeah? Customer response, customer evaluation. Yeah? After the service is done, so the message come to you, right? And then they ask you to rate. Customer rating, yes, customer rating, buyer rating, or company rating, yeah, seller rating. So this is a common module that you need to provide when you develop a system, especially on the healthcare information system. They involve a lot of department, so you want to know which department got problem. Yeah, because the healthcare information system start from the registration counter, to the doctor, to the queue, to the lab, to the radiology, to the pharmacy, to the ward, or something. So there are many party or many department involved. So we need to develop a very good and comprehensive of logging system. Yeah? So we know which department make a problem, make a trouble on the system. Okay, class. This is about the system support evaluation. Means that after this, before the system is before the developed system is deployed, the system support actually is started already. And of course, after you deploy the system, the dedicated person to manage the system is required. And then after 1 year, after 6 months, the evaluation need to be done, to make sure that the system developed. We can measure the system we develop. Either they give a benefit or a waste of money. Okay, in summary, implementing a new information system in healthcare organization requires a significant amount of planning and preparation. Once the SI is implemented, organizational aspects such as business process, re-engineering, change of policy, and the related need to be managed. And the information system need to be evaluated for improvement and sustainability. Okay, class, I think that's it. So see you later. Thank you very much.